I have more of a personal sharing that I would like to just talk about my understanding of frequency and harmony and sound. I'm very, very connected with...
One of the reasons that we are not just willing, but eager to have this conversation with you is because there are all kinds of evidences of everything that we just said to you in your environment. Nothing is to the contrary of what we just said. So when you have personal experiences that have shown you the way vibrations and things work, then it can give you the basis of understanding the bigger picture as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, well, I've been a musician all my life, and now with the aspect of waves, I've been into electronic sound design and synthesizers and...
Now, don't you love how music is evolving?
Yes. Oh, very much so. Very much so. And so by creating sound, I know, you know, like on a synthesizer, you pick different waves, sine wave, sawtooth. And I've also gone into sound healing, and that kind of opened up a whole new aspect of sound to me.
Just as a little aside here, we're going to interrupt you just briefly. There's vibration in everything. You are vibrational interpreters. That's who you are. In most cases, you don't know you are, you just are. What you see with your eyes is an interpretation of vibration. What you hear with your ears is an interpretation of vibration. Even your fingertips are interpreting vibration. Everything about what you call your reality is a vibrational interpretation. But there is no sense that you have of your seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching that gives you more easy to understand ability than the subject of sound. It's really a good place to focus because you know about sound in your own experience. Esther watches the dogs who hear things she can't hear. So is it really happening? Is it really happening? Well, of course it's really happening. Look at that guy reacting to it. Well, it's just a crazy dog because what it's reacting to, I cannot hear. Its receiver, its ability to receive the vibration is different from Esther's. So Esther cannot deny its reality, even though she is not sharing it. And that's really the point that we're wanting to insert here into this discussion, is that there are all kinds of wonderful realities that you are denying yourself with beliefs that are not broad enough to allow them. Yes.
Mm. Yeah. And with sound healing, that really integrated some of my personal inner reflections with my connection to sound. And
well, you see, the basic benefit of sound and the reason that it has healing qualities is because if you're willing to focus upon something that is a sound, not a conversation, a sound, not an opinion, a sound, not a problem, a sound, not something that you're wanting to be otherwise, then it has the same capability that meditation does, where you're focused without resistance. And anytime you focus without resistance, your natural vibration raises to a frequency that allows your physical body to be more cooperative with itself. That's why you find healing characteristics in it. It just distracts you from. Imagine the cork bobbing on the surface of the water, and let's call that well-being. Let's call that happy. Let's call that pure positive energy. You can take hold of it and hold it under the water, but it's unnatural for that cork to be under the water. It is naturally buoyant, and so are you. So when you let go of it, it's going to bob back up there where it naturally belongs, and so will you. And sometimes techniques like that cause you to bob. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I was studying, the sound healing was more, it focused on shamanism and ancient...
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Non-physical will do any song and dance you need to hear.
Yeah.
to distract you from your disconnection.
Yeah. And at the same time, you know, since I've been to electronic sound, at the same time I got introduced to how the voice itself produces its resonance, and frequencies within the voice really just are it's the representation of you. From what I understood, the frequencies in your voice, the resonance in your voice, that's you.
What you are portraying or how you are being in any moment in time is all about what your vibrational point of attraction is. And you just can't fake it. You can put a smile on your face and you can sound different if you want to. In other words, you can accomplish different... You can talk like this. We're just playing with you a little bit. But what you're trying to say and what we are wanting to say is that, yes, how you feel is evidenced by everything that you are. Everything that you are. There are no secrets in this law of attraction-based universe. And if you want to know what your point of attraction is, there are 2 ways to do it. Our friend is wanting to say 3, and we don't disagree. There are 2 ways to do it. Our friend is wanting to say 3, and we don't disagree. There are 3 ways to do it. There are 2, maybe 3 ways to do it. 2 for sure, maybe 3 ways to do it. First is, look at what's unfolding around you, because it reflects how you feel. It reflects what your patterns of vibrational offering are. And by that we mean, it reflects how much of all of the good that you've carved out you're letting in. It reflects the percentage of abundance of well-being that you are eking into your experience by your, in most cases, accidental lack of resistance. Because it's almost no one is deliberately in a state of non-resistance. Most of you are having knee-jerk reactions to conditions, and then you're just allowing a little bit of well-being to eke in around that because you're fickle and you don't have time to focus on all the problems of the world simultaneously. So there are 2, maybe 3 ways to know what your point of attraction is. One, by what's coming around you, because it's evidence of what you've got going on vibrationally every single time. Esther will say to herself, there's a very uncomfortable pattern showing itself to me. I wonder, it must be that guy's fault. She's just kidding, because she knows. She's the common denominator in everything that happens to her. So what you've got going on vibrationally is shown to you by the way you are realizing life. The other, now that's sort of post-vibrational offering. What's happening is a result of what you've been practicing. But then there is the second way, second of 2, maybe 3 ways, and that is the way you feel. The way you feel is your indication. The way you feel is the indication of your vibrational frequency. And it's not your vibrational frequency in relationship to other instruments. It's your vibrational frequency in relationship to who you really are. That's the only synthesizing you need to do. That's the only resonance that you need to find. Because when you find that resonance, that powerful, resonant you will find the resonance in the universe. But if you, this is a wonderful conversation we're having, if you are deliberately finding resonance with something that is out of resonance with you, it doesn't matter how hard you work, it's not ever going to come together. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
And then the third way, appears to possibly be, well, it is. It's the evidence. What you're talking about is you're talking about the vibrations or the synthesizers or the merging of it. That's the evidence. That all dovetails back into the first point that we were making. Yeah.
I know there's going to be constant unfoldings of how I'll be working with sound, and part of that is
let your interest call you. Mm-hmm. Not someone else's idea. Don't try to fit what you are coming to know with anything that anybody else has ever written down or told you. Let your personal interest in discovery call you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so fun. That is so fun.
Yeah.
Because when you let your natural interest call you and you find resonance with who you really are and what you really know. The other day, Esther had such an interesting experience. She has them all the time, you do too, where a sequence of events just came together in a really, what she would formerly have said, unbelievable way. And the results of it were just astonishing. And all of the people who were involved in it stood back in humorous amazement. And Esther was reveling in that and about 15 other things that had happened sort of kind of like it in the days before. And we said to her, Esther, this is orchestrational child's play. Do you understand that your Earth continues to spin in its orbit in perfect proximity with other planets? In other words, if you could get any idea of how much interest Source has in you and all that you are, and all that you are vibrationally, even though you have not allowed yourself yet to realize it, if you could feel the on the brinkness of the discoveringness that is you, and you could just focus for a little while singularly on the relationship between what you really know from a non-physical perspective and what you've allowed yourself to realize, the exhilaration as your path unfolds. And just for a little while, this is just our encouragement to you, not because we're trying to boss you around or tell you what to do, but because we know that it will be essential in how much momentum you allow to get going. Leave everybody else out of the equation. Don't try to explain it to them. Don't try to produce something to them that they understand. Let it be a self-discovery thing for a little while until the alignment between you and who you really are is so extraordinarily stable that then what you are producing will be recognized by the masses, by the results, not by what they're going to call your theory. If you try to get other people to accept your theory before you have proven it to yourself through the realization of the results, it just slows you way, 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 way down and confounds you and causes you frustration. They don't need to know. In most cases, they're not ready to know. Give them the results and then teach them after the fact where those results came from. Move them with your music in a way that causes resonance within them. Let them discover their resonance, and then later on tell them how they got there. You follow what we're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really good.
Yes.
Enough? We think it's enough.
Okay.
We think it's enough.
I understand.
We think that we gave you what we want you to hear from us, which is what you've been reaching for with everything that you've been about for quite some time. We're excited about what's before you.
Yeah.
We want you to love the process of it. When you're loving the process of it, the results are exhilarating. If you are trying to get the results and not so much loving the process, you never get there.
Right.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good.